Did you know that roughly every 80 years, America seems to face its greatest national crisis? It may sound strange, but many Americans themselves believe in this idea. They believe that every 8 decades, their empire reaches a breaking point.
Financial crisis in generations.
Wall Street is facing a financial bloodbath.
Weekly jobless claims hit a 26-year high.
And now, many think that moment has arrived again. That the era of unquestioned American dominance around the world may be coming to an end. So what exactly is this 80-year theory? Why do some Americans believe it? And what does history actually show? That's what we're exploring today. From the outside, America looks powerful, but inside, it can be fragile. The wealthiest nation, the most powerful military force, a country that has shaped global dominance. Yet when you look at its history, a very different picture appears. America has never existed in permanent stability. Instead, since its rise, about every 80 years it has fallen into deep internal crises, moments when old beliefs collapse and power structures shatter. Today, many Americans are asking a terrifyingly simple question. Are we there again? This question didn't come out of nowhere. It comes from history. Back in the 1770s, America was an angry colony under the British Empire, the most powerful force in the world at the time. No one imagined that farmers, merchants, and lawyers would reshape history. Then came the American Revolution. It wasn't just a war, it was a rebellion of thought. America challenged the idea that kings ruled by divine right. From that challenge emerged a new concept. Power comes from the people. From this idea grew modern democratic thinking. After the war, America didn't just gain independence, it began building a new political model based on constitutions, checks and balances, and civil rights. This marked the end of its first great crisis. Then came a long period of stability, nation building, expansion, growth. But history never stops. About 80 years later, in the mid-19th century, America faced its second great crisis. Externally, it was one country. Internally, it was split in two. Industrializing north versus slave-holding south. Political hostility grew so toxic that physical fights broke out in Congress. The result was civil war. Over 600,000 people died, catastrophic relative to the population. Yet from the devastation came transformation. Slavery was abolished. Federal power expanded. The idea of a truly United States became real. America survived its second crisis and rebuilt again. Then came growth, expansion, prosperity. People began believing the nation might never fracture again. But time moved forward. Another 80 years, and the third crisis arrived. The Great Depression of the 1930s. Overnight, people lost everything. Banks collapsed, jobs disappeared, suicide rates surged, trust in leadership faltered. Then came World War II, a global conflict so immense that America's future seemed uncertain. Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan looked unstoppable. Yet somehow, America emerged through both crises. After the war, it became the world's dominant power. A middle class expanded, suburban life flourished, federal institutions strengthened, military reach went global. Many Americans began believing, we're different, we don't fall. Then two thinkers challenged that confidence, William Strauss and Neil Howe. Their idea shook people. History doesn't move in straight lines, it moves in cycles. They argued major crises recur roughly every 80 to 90 years, about the length of a human life cycle. They outlined 4 phases: stability, awakening, unraveling, crisis. The last stage, crisis, is when society questions its very foundation. And many Americans began wondering, are we entering that 4th phase now? Some analysts point to the 2008 financial collapse as the doorway into this era, when ordinary people felt the system protected banks, not citizens. Trust eroded. Political polarization intensified. Democrat versus Republican became more than parties. They became separate realities. Then came the Trump era. To some, he was a savior. To others, a threat. Then the Capitol attack, once unimaginable. Then a pandemic that struck America especially hard. Conflicting messages from government, science, and media left people divided. And so belief splintered. Today, America's deepest crisis may not be economic or military, but a crisis of trust. A striking fact, a large portion of Americans no longer fully trust elections. The last time distrust reached similar levels was before the Civil War. Another familiar pattern. Before major crises, younger generations question traditions, while older generations cling to stability. Today, Gen Z and millennials play a role similar to boomers in the 1960s. Belief in this cycle isn't limited to theorists. Major figures like Ray Dalio, one of the world's most prominent investors, argue that when debt, inequality, and political division rise together, civilizations undergo major resets. Even military analysts say America's greatest threat may be internal fragmentation rather than foreign enemies. But this theory isn't purely fatalistic. It doesn't say America is doomed. It says crisis periods shape the future. After World War II, America helped create institutions like the UN, IMF, and NATO. Today, something new could emerge, or global dominance could weaken. The outcome depends on how America responds. Americans believe in this theory partly because it offers a psychological map. When chaos surrounds them, they ask, has this happened before? And the theory answers, yes. People feared each time, but history never stopped. So the question remains, will America reinvent itself again, or will this cycle break? Because history guarantees nothing, it only warns.